It's Friday, January 2nd. Today, a life cut short. Winnipeggers remember an Indigenous comedian and friend following a fatal fire. Also, a night of celebration takes a deadly turn. Dozens of people are killed in a devastating fire at a Swiss ski resort. And later, parishioners heartbroken after thieves stole a cherished piece of history. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning and Happy New Year. Thank you so much for ringing in 2026 with us, our first show of 2026. I'm Catherine Dow in the chair for Rochelle Legacy, and with Daniel Holmerson filling in for Terry Gale as well. We've got a lot on the go as we get so excited for the new year. Of course, we all set those resolutions. Some of them stick, some of them don't. But we have a lot of tips this morning to make sure if you're setting one, you can be successful. Including our own Ainsley McPhail has headed down to a community gym. It's a really neat space, and she's going to get tips on if you want to get a little healthier in the new year, set those active habits, how you can set those goals, stick to them, some advice from fitness experts. We have a naturopathic doctor, a trainer, all the experts to give us those details. And yeah, get us started on the right foot for 2026. Speaking of Daniel, for heading outside, getting our steps in, how's Mother Nature going to be treating us?
A little nicer than what we saw on New Year's Eve. High of minus 24 out right now, and quite cold with the wind chill minus 35. Fairly clear skies with the wind out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour. The pressure is dropping and the humidity right now sitting at 81%. It's going to warm up as we move through the day. Over the last few hours, though, bit of cloud coverage here in the south, up north, a little bit more, some scattered flurries as well in northern Manitoba this morning. Now, over the next few hours, we're going to see those clouds roll in, but the temperatures rising well above what we saw earlier this week. And then overnight, chance of some scattered flurries here in the south, 2 to 4 centimeters expected throughout most of southern Manitoba on Friday night. Keep on forgetting what day it is tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies throughout most of the province, and then on Sunday, we could see a few more snowflakes fall throughout the south. Taking a look here today, high of minus 15, going to feel closer to minus 21 in the afternoon. Sticking around that temperature overnight, minus 14 tomorrow under that mix of sun and cloud. But then temperature is actually ramping up to above seasonal averages, minus 9 on Sunday, minus 8 to start off the work week under partly cloudy skies.
Thanks, Daniel. An outpouring of support from neighbors and friends for the man who died after a fatal house fire on Monday afternoon. Clayton T. Stewart was a well-known Indigenous comedian in the community and was just 45 years old. Thousands of dollars have been donated to a GoFundMe page in his memory as his family deals with loss of life and their home. As CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, one of Stewart's best friends is also devastated by the loss.
I went by the house last night. I just don't know why. I had to go and look at it.
Nelson Mayer is struggling to understand how this could happen. His best friend and comedy partner, Clayton T. Stewart, passed away on Monday afternoon in a house fire on Nassau Street. 3 other people were able to get out of the house. Mayer says Stewart was like a little brother to him.
Clayton was loved by everybody. Clayton was the one that kept the shows going forward. He was the one that brought everybody in, made them feel welcomed and a part of something. And he was just like that. Everybody could meet him and feel like they'd been friends for years.
And the two have been friends for 24 years. Mayer says he met Stewart in 2001. They worked together on an independent wrestling promotion run by Mayer's dad. Years later, their paths crossed again in St. Vital after Stewart attended a stand-up open mic hosted by Mayer.
Clayton came out to check out the open mic, and I put him on stage and just fell in love with his personality. Just a great host, energy, really fun.
Mayer says Stewart's personality made him the perfect comedic partner. The two became the Bad Apples, an Indigenous comedy duo. After the pandemic, they went on a cross-Canada road trip doing what they love to do most, entertaining.
We decided let's get back to it, and so we went full steam ahead, and I think we did 7 or 8 full tours as the Bad Apples.
More shows were planned for 2026, and those are now up in the air. Willow Schuyler lives on Rathgar, just down the street from the blaze. She didn't know the residents personally, but is trying to help find their 3 cats who were missing after the fire.
I've been calling their names, trying to see if they are around, and just trying to be the friendly neighbor that that I am. When I found out that someone had died, I just immediately burst into tears.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
As of this morning, more than $29,000 has been donated towards a goal of $40,000. At a news conference on Wednesday, WFPS Chief Christian Schmidt says there are early indications that the cause of the fire is accidental. Power has been restored to a Cree First Nation in northern Manitoba, but leaders are asking the Prime Minister to send the armed forces to help. Chief David Monius writes that the nation is experiencing a public health crisis after a power line failed on Sunday. Now that power is restored, help is desperately needed, with widespread burst pipes and flooding anticipated. The federal government says it is moving to support the community. A group representing a coalition of consumer advocacy organizations says the decision to raise hydro rates beyond what the Crown Corporation was requesting is understandable. However, the Public Interest Law Centre says Manitoba Hydro should be taking a greater effort to keep its finances under control.
Of course, the first year, a lot of the stress was put on the drought impacts. But looking at the second and third year, a lot of what is driving those rate requests by Manitoba Hydro are placeholder budgets for capital projects and for maintenance projects that do not have detailed budgets and have not gone through an integrated resource plan public review.
Those comments come after the Public Utilities Board granted the Crown utility a 4% interim rate increase, that began on Thursday. Hydro had asked for a 3.5% bump, but the PUB decided a larger increase was necessary, as historically low water levels have cost Hydro some $600 million. Still, the Public Interest Law Centre says that increase is going to be tough for some folks to handle.
During the hearing, we heard about people who are making very difficult choices with respect to their electricity usage. For example, only heating rooms that they're in, only using an air fryer rather than an oven to save on electricity costs. Those are very difficult decisions that families are making. We would expect Manitoba Hydro to make the same kinds of difficult choices when it comes to their own costs.
The PUB says it would give a final decision on rates for the remainder of the fiscal year that ends in 2028, sometime in the new year. Newly released footage shows the dramatic moment a major water main burst in Calgary on Tuesday, plunging the city into a water crisis. This video shows the force of the break launching a vehicle into the air. You can also see a driver standing on the hood of their vehicle to avoid the gushing water. A boil water advisory is still in effect in some areas, and the city is asking all Calgarians to take some small actions to conserve water. New rules are now in effect to protect Ontarians from deadly carbon monoxide leaks. As of Thursday, carbon monoxide alarms are mandatory on every floor of a home under the Ontario Fire Code.
I think people don't understand really the risks that they may have in their homes, right? And so a lot of the times what's happening is if you have fuel burning appliances, then they could potentially be giving off carbon monoxide. And what will happen is, you don't even know, right? Because you can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't smell it.
The alarms must be outside every bedroom, but are also mandatory on floors that don't have any bedrooms at all. In multi-unit residential buildings, alarms are also required in every suite and in hallways. U.S. President Donald Trump is defending himself amid growing concerns and questions over his health. The White House has attributed the bruising on Trump's hands to handshakes and aspirin. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president says he takes more aspirin each day than is recommended because he's a little superstitious. He also says he's not interested in regular exercise because, quote, it's boring. An iconic winter landmark opened at the Forks for another year.
The best thing about the Nestor Arroyo River Trail is the fact that it's a completely new way to look at the city. We kind of, or myself personally, shy away from winter, and this is a way to get out and embrace it, and you get to see a city from a whole new angle.
Yesterday, Nestawaya River Trail at the Forks opened for skaters. About 50 people showed up to skate away their first day of 2026. Only a section of the annual river trail opened. The Forks says this is to make sure everything is safe. More sections are expected to open on the Red and Assiniboine rivers as nature allows. You can check which section is open by checking their website, theforks.com. The Forks says the entire trail usually spans 6 kilometers. Taking a check-in on traffic at McPhillip Street. Couple cars out there on the roads, but decently quiet at this hour. Meanwhile, if you have any traffic tips or updates you'd like to share with them, please text them to us at 10400. We say our very first good morning to Ainsley McPhail of 2026, and we find her at the community gym this morning. Ainsley, what do you got in store for us?
Well, a lot of people are getting their first workout in today of 2026, and I'm not exactly sure why it had to fall New Year's Eve on the Wednesday with our 4 a.m. to noon shift. That one, stay up past midnight, wake up so early. But the people in here, you can tell it wasn't their New Year's resolution because they were reeling and ready to go at like 5:45. They've got a spin class in here. They've got boxing and mixed with other stuff. And then there's a lot of people who are making fitness their New Year's resolution, as well as other health goals. So we're going to be chatting with a health coach, a naturopathic doctor, a clinical psychologist, because of course our physical and our mental wellness are oh so interconnected. Stay with us throughout the morning as we dive into all of it.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for that, Ainsley. Heading up to the rooftop with Daniel Halmerson. How's it feeling out there, Daniel? Your first weather rooftop check-in of 2026.
Hopefully the rest are better than this one. It is cold outside right now. We have the wind coming out of the west and it's biting. We're minus 24, feeling more like minus 35, and it's that wind that's really sticking out to me right now. Now we are going to get up to around minus 15 today, which is just below seasonal average temperatures. And those temperatures are going to remain consistent for the next 24 hours or so. We'll feel more like minus 21 in the afternoon. Now, as we head into the evening, chance of some light snow overnight, 2 to 4 centimeters expected throughout much of southern Manitoba. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud, minus 14. But then it's going to actually pick up over the next few days. Starting Sunday, we're going to be above seasonal, up around minus 9 degrees. Now, we could see a bit more snow on Sunday. As you head into the next work week, much of the same, minus 8 or so on Monday as well. But for now, it's cold, and we'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
A New Year's celebration that turned into a horror in Switzerland as a fire ripped through a packed bar at a popular ski resort in the Alps. Police say about 40 people were killed and at least 115 injured. CTV's Camille Karamali now on the chaos and the search for the cause.
This video from inside this Swiss resort bar shows a chaotic scene. Panicked partygoers desperately trying to escape as a quick-moving fire rips through what was a tightly packed room. Outside, screams rang out into the night at the popular ski resort town of Crans-Montana in southwestern Switzerland. Swiss officials say dozens dead, more than 100 injured, the fire breaking out around 1:30 Thursday morning at Le Constellation Bar. Witnesses describing a horrific scene, people pushing, breaking windows, even trampling over one another to get out.
A lot of people were screaming, trying to escape, and I saw a lot of people on the floor, and I think these people was dead.
This young woman says she let go of her friend's hand as she tried to escape, but now she can't find him. Officials are ruling out an attack, instead saying an accident led to the explosion inside the bar. Witnesses say sparklers being held too close to the ceiling was how the fire began, although Swiss investigators believe it's too early to comment on the cause. Mourners gathered, placing flowers and candles at the site, the country's president calling it one of the worst tragedies Switzerland has ever experienced. Global Affairs Canada says it's not aware of any Canadian citizens impacted by the incident in Crans-Montana. The Consulate General of Switzerland in Montreal says it's following the developments with the utmost attention in close coordination with the competent authorities, while Swiss Canadians feared the worst in the days to come.
Somebody is going to say, oh, I knew somebody that died or that got really badly injured or anything, so it's going to come up the next few days or few weeks.
And Prime Minister Mark Carney also passing along his condolences, saying his thoughts are with those who lost their lives. Authorities add the grim task of identifying all the victims could take days.
In the Netherlands, a historic church was engulfed by fire on Thursday night. The 19th century building was gutted and lost its spire as firefighters battled the flames for hours. Meantime, police say at least 5 people were killed in firework-related incidents, and several police officers and firefighters were attacked in a night of, quote, unprecedented violence. A fire truck that first rolled into Stonewall more than 75 years ago could once again drive through town.
We've had a lot of people comment on their support for us bringing this truck back to Stonewall. And we just want to show people the history of the Stonewall Fire Department and the truck that used to provide support for the town of Stonewall.
Kevin Botten with the Stonewall Rockwood Fire Department says the department bought the fire truck this fall from an antique collector in Petersfield. He says the fire truck was used in Stonewall from 1948 into the 1980s, adding that the relic was in amazing condition. Since the purchase, the department has been working on the restoration to make it roadworthy.
It was the 30 members within our department that felt it was an integral part of the community and it needed to come back to the town of Stonewall.
The department hopes to have the engine restored over the next few months and have it running by next summer. As for the truck's use, well, they hope to have it in parades and on display. Many people tend to start the new year with good intentions like losing weight or saving money. But as the weeks roll by, many people give up and fall back into unhealthy habits.
Where we fail is that we don't have a system. How are we going to get to those goals?
That is Kenny Tello with Orland Health, who says the first step is to make sure your resolution sticks, is to have a plan. Map out each step and the resources needed to accomplish your goals. And he suggests you start small. So if your goal is to exercise more, start by simply going for a walk 2 or 3 times a week after dinner and add more time. And finally, try to attach your resolution to a higher purpose.
I'm a father and I want to be here for my daughter. So therefore, I want to be healthy.
Tello adds, if you slip up one day, it doesn't mean you have to give up on your goal altogether. Just try again the next day. A Winnipeg Jets defenseman will represent Canada at next year's Olympics.
Josh Morrissey, shot scores!
Josh Morrissey was among the 25 NHL players selected for Team Canada for the Milano Cortina Olympic Winter Games in February. He's the only member of the Jets named to Team Canada, although teammate Nino Niedermayer was named to Switzerland's team earlier this year. Team USA will reveal its final roster today. That's according to TSN. Our Canadian roster also includes 2 players with Manitoba connections. Mark Stone, who's originally from Winnipeg and plays for the Vegas Golden Knights and was named one of the forwards, and Elkhorn's Travis Sanheim, who plays for the Philadelphia Flyers, who was selected as a defenseman.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Empress Street is closed from Saskatchewan to Wellington for electrical work. Cathedral Avenue is closed between Mackenzie and Parr for water work. And Bunting Street is closed from Church to Inkster for water work. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400.
Taking a look outside right now, minus 24, feeling more like minus 35 with the wind chill. The wind out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour, the pressure dropping, and the humidity sitting at 81%.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Cold start to the day over much of Manitoba as we take a look around the province right now. Minus 20 out in Portage, minus 22 up in Gimli, and just to our west out in Brandon, minus 22 as well. Little colder up in Swan River, minus 25. And looking in northern Manitoba, minus 20 in Thompson, minus 18 in Churchill. And if we take a look at the wind chill values, feeling a little colder basically everywhere else in the province as well to kick off your Friday. Now taking a look over the next few days, we should hit a high of minus 15 this afternoon under a mix of sun and cloud. Those temperatures remaining pretty consistent as we move through the night. Chance of some light snow developing as well. Tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, minus 14, but then we're finally getting above seasonal average temperatures starting Sunday. That's when we're going to see a little bit more snow with a high of minus 9. And into your next work week, minus 8 on Monday under fairly cloudy skies. But those temperatures remaining fairly consistent as we move through the work week, minus 9 on Thursday as well. And our Skywatch pick of the day, this one's from Dan out in Ericsdale. Beautiful sunrise there. Keep those pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Live.
If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Centre. We've got a few prizes to give away. One grand prize winner will walk away with a $1,000 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. There's also 3 prizes of $500 gift cards with tickets to be won. To enter, head to the website, the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword home. Good luck. Removing interprovincial trade barriers was a key priority for Prime Minister Mark Carney's government in 2025. And yesterday, legislation that aims to do just that came into effect. CTV's Jeremy Charon reports.
It's a promise the Prime Minister made often in 2025.
So we're building one Canadian economy.
A pledge to remove barriers to interprovincial trade announced last year that came into effect. Bill C-5, the Free Trade and Labour Mobility in Canada Act, now means provincial requirements for goods and services and workers' licenses will be recognized federally too.
I think symbolically, it's a really good way to start off the year. Actual impact, I think it's really more the provinces than the feds that we're looking for action from.
A separate mutual recognition agreement signed by all provinces and the feds is set to be implemented by June. It will further impact interprovincial trade, but still experts say some key goods are excluded and still face challenges.
Alcohol, right? Beer, wine, spirits is one example, right, that we hear a lot about. And so there are still ongoing conversations at the provincial level to make it easier to move those goods across borders.
While 2025 saw governments across the board push to trade more within the country, several bilateral agreements were signed between provinces. Experts say 2026 needs to be about follow-through.
There needs to be tangible action on the ground this year, and it needs to come quickly because the Kuzma threat is hanging over all of us.
On the international front, the stakes couldn't be higher. Canada's free trade agreement with the U.S. and Mexico is up for review this year, only putting more pressure on bolstering the domestic economy.
I think it's fundamental to our ability to respond to the threat from the United States, from the tariffs, which probably aren't going to go away soon, even though we have the possibility of a review of the Kuzma.
Formal talks are set to get underway in the coming weeks ahead of a July deadline, when a decision will have to be made on whether to extend the deal as is, negotiate a new one, or either country could decide to walk away.
Meanwhile, increased American tariffs on upholstered furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities have been delayed for a year. U.S. President Donald Trump signed a New Year's Eve proclamation delaying the move because of ongoing trade talks. The increases were set to take effect Thursday and would have seen a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture and a 50% duty on kitchen cabinets and vanities. Those have been pushed back 1 year. But a 25% tariff imposed in September on those goods remains in place. Trump has said the duties on furniture are needed to bolster American industry and protect national security.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A cold Friday morning here in Winnipeg, minus 24, feeling more like minus 35 with that wind chill. The wind out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour. The pressure is dropping. Humidity sitting at 81%. Now, it's pretty cold out right now. We could see those temperatures slowly climb as we move into the afternoon. A high this afternoon, a little more closer to seasonal averages. Taking a look at the Skywatch satellite, not too much to show you this morning. Chance of a little flurry here and there up north, but down here in the south, fairly clear skies right now. Now the clouds are going to roll in as we move through the day, but high minus 15 this afternoon. The wind dying off just a little bit out of the west at 10 kilometers per hour. Mostly cloudy. There are going to be some sunny breaks on your Friday. Now overnight, those temperatures hovering still around minus 15 with very light winds and light snow, 2 to 4 centimeters expected here in Winnipeg. As you move into Saturday, minus 14. Wind picking up out of the northwest just a little bit more, 20 kilometers per hour, under a mix of sun and cloud. And our long-range forecast, minus 9 on Sunday with more snow expected, minus 8 on Monday to kick off the work week. And those temperatures are going to remain around for much of the week, though. We'll probably see a little less sunshine, but that's the trade-off when we're in the middle of winter.
Thanks, Daniel. A city councillor wants parents and guardians to keep it moving when dropping kids off at school. St. Norbert's Seine River councillor Marcus Chambers has put forward a motion that would mandate designated pickup and drop-off points for all city elementary schools. And it would include a strict 1-minute time limit for each vehicle. Chambers' motions for a stop, drop, and go program also calls for increased enforcement from police or the parking authority, beginning with a warning period followed by ticketing.
What we're seeing right now is a lot of parents who are primarily thinking of their own kids and trying to get them out of the car, and it's creating real unsafe conditions for other students as well as the school patrols.
A feasibility and cost analysis would first need to be done by the public service. The motion will appear before councillors on Wednesday. Starting today, employers in Ontario with 25 or more workers will have to include salary ranges in certain job postings. The new rule applies to jobs which pay between $50,000 and $200,000 a year. Under the amended Employment Standards Act, employers are required to detail all compensation, including bonuses and commissions. They must also disclose the use of artificial intelligence in the hiring process. According to the Ontario government, candidates who make it to the interview stage must also be informed of the company's decision within 45 days. At the Vatican, Pope Leo began 2026 with a plea for peace. The pontiff led a New Year's Day Mass in St. Peter's Basilica to mark the World Day of Peace. He spoke in particular of countries bloodied by conflict and families wounded by violence. Last month, the Pope released a message lamenting a global increase in military spending and disapproving of leaders who invoke religious beliefs to justify conflicts or nationalist policies. He also remembered the Holy Year, also known as Jubilee, will conclude January 6th. Winnipeg's Fort Garry Horse Regiment has a long and proud military history. They're also known for discovering and caring for the bear who would inspire the character, Winnie the Pooh. Well, it turns out the regiment would also adopt another furry friend several years later. And as CTV's John Hendrick shows you, Whitey the dog's story is now being shared with the world.
When soldiers from the Fort Garry Horse went to battle in the First World War, they didn't go alone. They famously brought a bear with them that history would eventually know as Winnie the Pooh.
Military soldiers have had mascots since the earliest times. And the First World War particularly, there was a great number of them. And there were so many that it became a problem. This is why they were banned. But of course, they found a way.
And they found a way to bring more than just Winnie the Bear. Years later, in the Second World War, the regiment adopted a dog named Whitey. And this furry soldier seemingly enlisted with the regiment.
Every day, the soldiers would march past on parade, and every day Whitey would break free. This happened numerous times, and finally the owner said, you can just have him. He can be in the military.
And so, Whitey became a member of the Fort Garry Horse, going with them from Winnipeg to Ontario and then to Nova Scotia before being smuggled overseas. There, Trooper Whitey served as something of a drill master with the regiment in England.
Was always on parade, would be out there with the sergeant major barking at the soldiers until they got in line, and then stand at attention with them.
Whitey even got a regimental number and pay, and for 5 years, he took his duties very seriously.
He never missed a parade in all of his years with the regiment.
That devotion to duty eventually costing him his life. Whitey died in a training accident just 1 month before D-Day.
The Fort Garry Horse Regiment was so distraught by Whitey's passing. They had a full military funeral for him.
His story ended tragically, and Whitey's exploits were largely lost to the passage of time. But perhaps not for much longer.
The puppy followed the soldiers back to their barracks.
Kelsey Loney has written a children's story about Whitey and his adventures with the Fort Garry horse. It's called Whitey's Journey,
including some very cute details, such as Whitey getting his teeth brushed and going for regular vet checkups.
It highlights our military history kind of in a fun, engaging way that can resonate with anybody.
And who knows, maybe one day Whitey's story will become as well known as Winnie's. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
In Italy, a New Year's Day tradition dating back 80 years continued on Thursday. 3 men dove into the chilly waters on the Tiber River. The event began in 1945 when a man plunged into the river wearing a bathing suit and a top hat to celebrate his birthday on January 1st. On Thursday, a team of firefighters were there to pluck the divers out of the water as hundreds of people watched the annual event from the bridge and from boats. The latest Ben's Cup tournament was a huge success.
A lot of door-to-door fundraising, knocking on doors, bottle drives like crazy. They put the effort in big time this year, and it paid off.
Ben's Cup is a hockey tournament named after Oilers superfan Ben Stelter. 56 teams took part, and together they raised more than $1 million towards a cancer radiation treatment facility. Taking a look at the current traffic situation around the Norwood Bridge. Pretty quiet out there as to be expected. Not likely to be a terribly busy rush hour. However, if you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400. Taking a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.21. Provincial average significantly lower at $1.11. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.09 per liter, and the lowest price in the city is $1.04. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. We're taking a break. Stay with us. So much Your Morning Winnipeg still to come. Don't go anywhere.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Cold start to the day up here on the rooftop. About minus 24 out right now with that wind chill. Feeling closer to minus 35, and it's that wind coming out of the west that's really doing it for me right now. It's cold up here. A lot of people still off for the holidays as we head into the first weekend of the year. And if you don't need to leave the house this morning, just don't. Stay cozy. That's what I'd be doing. Maybe a little slick out on the roads this morning as well, but it is going to get up to around minus 15 this afternoon. Still feeling closer to minus 21 with the wind chill, and some scattered flurries expected overnight, a total of probably about 2 to 4 centimeters here in Winnipeg. So if you are heading out today, make sure you are bundled up. We saw the Forks River Trail is officially open for the year. Great day to have a skate, and much of the same over the rest of the weekend. And we're joined now by CTV's Ainsley McPhail. Now she's at Community Gym this morning, kicking off the year right. What are you doing over there, Ainsley?
Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Manitoba. You mentioned the cold. Now imagine getting into your vehicle, brushing off the snow, and then getting a really good sweat in on the third day of 2026. Amy Sire joins us from the Community Gym. She's the owner. Tell us about Community.
Awesome. So we are a fitness studio located in the heart of Winnipeg, in downtown Winnipeg. We offer 6 different classes, so Pilates, boot camp, yoga, spin, rowing, and boxing. Did I mention that one?
No.
So we offer 6 different classes, as well as we just launched a brand new class, which is a recovery class, a cold plunge class. So yeah,
just what we need in Winnipeg. Even more cold.
More cold. Yeah, totally.
The folks in here are, I can believe how dedicated they are, because the first class is kicking off at 6 a.m. How many people do you see, and just how much dedication are you seeing from these folks?
So we see about 200 people here a day, which is crazy. They come from all over the city, not just downtown, and they come work out here because it's just a great place and a great facility. So yeah, little biased though.
When it comes to the timing and when we're here, you know, new year, new me, we hear it all the time. But what are some of the habits that you would say, or I guess, what are recommendations as a gym owner you would give to folks who are looking to find that motivation?
You have to enjoy what you're doing. Your workout shouldn't suck. Your workout shouldn't feel like a drag. There's so many awesome things that you can do that are fun, that you can move your body and feel good, that aren't boring and you don't dread. So you shouldn't have to dread your workout. I always like to think that, like, if you have to eat broccoli, it doesn't have to be raw broccoli. You can put it in the oven, you can put some Parmesan cheese on. Same with your workout. I mean, you don't have to put cheese and put it in the oven, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just have, like, really fun. Like, they could be really fun. Like, so whether you're taking a boxing class, you're getting that cardio, doing some HIIT, we've got strength classes that are super fun that you just saw. You're building muscle. Like, those are all great things you can do that are actually enjoyable. And plus, you get to see familiar faces every single day. So you're kind of hitting all those points. So, yeah.
I'm having fun already, even though I haven't really stepped in there. It looks a little like I'm gonna have to elbow somebody, but hey, maybe in the next one I'll get the gloves on. This and more after the break.
A look at the early markets this morning. The Dow Jones is up 215 points. The Nasdaq added 269.75 points. The S&P index gained 41 points. Canadian dollar slightly down to 72.86 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng boosted its average by 707 points. The Nikkei is down by 187 points. Welcome back. In Saskatchewan, police are still looking for 2 suspects after a shooting on a First Nation on Tuesday. 1 person was killed and 3 others were injured in Big Island, Lake Cree Nation. That is northwest of Saskatoon. The suspects were last seen riding an all-terrain vehicle. RCMP has now canceled dangerous persons alert for the community and surrounding areas. Investigators believe there is no more imminent risk to public safety, but there will be an increased police presence for an undetermined amount of time. For some Canadians celebrating the new year, polar plunges have become a popular way to kick things off. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth looks at the risks and rewards.
With a dusting of snow covering the ice and a stiff winter breeze blowing across Dartmouth's Lake Bannock,
I'm feeling great.
Hundreds of polar bear swimmers rang in the new year.
Oh, it was great. It wasn't that cold. I've been in colder.
For some, the experience was not enjoyable or tolerable.
I was in there for 5 seconds, just my feet. Couldn't do it? I could not do it.
This swimmer tried it once.
Will you do it again? No.
New Year's Day polar bear swims are a yearly tradition across the country. In Toronto, the crowd was massive.
It was so cold. That was my first time doing that.
According to these polar bear dippers, this New Year's splash is both an emotional and extreme experience.
I love to see my friends taking on this challenge and not being at home, just being on the couch, but go out and do something.
Not to put a damper on the happy vibes, but there are health concerns to consider. Cold shock can lead to an elevated heart rate, spikes in blood pressure, and even heart attack for people with pre-existing medical conditions.
If this is not something you do regularly, I don't suggest you try it for the first time on New Year's. I think it is potentially very dangerous.
The organizer of this polar bear swim points to scientific evidence suggesting cold plunges support athletic recovery and help minimize anxiety and depression.
There's so many benefits mentally and physically. I do it for the mental benefits. When I go in and I get out, it's very challenging, but I just feel alive, feel amazing afterwards.
A jolting and refreshing way to wrap up 2025.
Happy New Year, Canada!
And start the new year with a splash. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
The Winnipeg Jets were hoping the new year might bring a much-needed turnaround as the team has struggled through the last 2 months of 2025. They were on the road last night visiting the Leafs in Toronto. Things were looking up for Winnipeg. The Jets opening the scoring with just under 6 minutes left in the first period. Gabriel Velarde takes a pass from Mark Scheifele and fires this one past Toronto backup Denny Hildeby, and it's 1-0 Winnipeg. Onto the second with about 14:30 left in the period, and Scheifele makes no mistake with this one, the first of his 2 goals, putting Winnipeg up 4-1. Then the Jets start to collapse, allowing 3 unanswered Toronto goals. This one with 13:30 left in the third, as Mateus Maccelli scored to tie it up at 4 apiece. And then just over 2 minutes later, Scheifele gets his second of the night to put the Jets back on top. There it goes. But it wasn't enough as the Leafs send 2 more past netminder Eric Comrie, edging the Jets 6-5. Winnipeg next sees action tomorrow night in Ottawa. Game time is 6 p.m. As some people start their New Year's resolutions, this surfer has finished his. Matt from California set a goal last January to catch 365 waves, one for each day of the year. He set out to make the most of each of his days after he was diagnosed with brain cancer. With his family by his side, Matt not only reached his goal, he exceeded it by surfing more than 1,000 waves. Amazing stuff. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Empress Street is closed from Saskatchewan to Wellington for electrical work. Cathedral Avenue is closed between Mackenzie and Parr for water work. And Bunting Street closed from Church to Inkster, also for water work. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, you can text them to us at 10400.
Outside right now here in Winnipeg, -24, feeling closer to -35. Mainly clear skies with the wind coming out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour. You can see that camera shaking a little bit this morning. The pressure is dropping, the humidity sitting at 81%. Those beach scenes we just saw, that would be a real treat today. But -24 right now, getting up to around -15 here in Winnipeg. But let's take a look around the province. High of -16 up in Churchill today, -17 in Gillam. Chance of some snow there, much the same. In Thompson, high of -19. In the northwest, -22 high in Lynn Lake under mainly cloudy skies. -19 in Flin Flon and -17 in the Paw. Partly cloudy there as well, -18 over in Norway House. To our west, cloudy day in Brandon with a high of -13, -12 in Neepawa and up in Dauphin. Maybe a little more sunshine, and we could see a few flurries up in Swan River. Here in Winnipeg, as I mentioned, a high of -15, a little warmer to our west, out in Portage la Prairie and Morden and Winkler. And to our east, about the same, -18 though, high up in Barons River. And if we look over the border into northwest Ontario, -17 in Dryden today, -16 out in Kenora. Partly cloudy skies there as well. And over the next few days, getting up to -14 tomorrow here in Winnipeg, -9 on Sunday, though there is a chance of some snow. Cloudy Monday, but those temperatures remaining above seasonal highs. -8 then, -9 on Tuesday, and -7 on Wednesday under a mix of sun and cloud.
Thank you, Daniel. Checking in for the first time this new year with our friends at Bounce 99.9 and my bestie, Gabrielle Marchand, Gabby as she's known in the radio world. Reunited and it feels so good.
Yeah, I'm loving that tune this morning.
Everyone turns off the TV.
My dance moves might be a turn off, but hey, keep it on, because you guys are killing it over there, and so nice to talk to your best friend for the first time in the new year on television. What could possibly go wrong, Catherine?
Nothing.
But this morning on Bounce 99.9, Bo and I are talking about the appropriate time in the morning to call someone. How early is too early? I mean, I swear I've called you probably at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. in years past, and you've certainly called me early. But what is the appropriate time to call somebody in the morning in your world?
It's tough because we work weird hours, right? So I start returning texts at an appropriate time. I think 9. Does that sound right? Is that a normal time for people? Even that feels a little bracing. What do you think, Gabby?
Yeah, you're cold calling somebody in the morning. The responses we've gotten so far seem to be 8 a.m. is acceptable for most people. They figure 8 a.m. But what if you have something big ahead of 8 a.m. and you've been up since 4 a.m. in our world? We might be calling you this morning, just a heads up. And then something else we're chatting about today, and I think you can relate to this one. I always wait way too long to fill up my car. It's actually been on empty for 3 days now. The light's on this morning. I wasn't sure if I would make it 3 blocks from my house to work. But winter car maintenance. Are you keeping yours up to date with this cold weather out there, Catherine?
I'm trying, but you know, a famous story of mine is my car broke down a couple years ago in like a big cold snap, and so I got it towed, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong, and they called me back and they said, well, you ran out of gas. So that should give you an indication of how much I'm on top of my car maintenance, and that I don't even notice when the light is on. So I hope your listeners do a better job than me.
Nobody's listening to us for auto tips. That is for sure. But here's one. If you hear a clunk, 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 just turn up the music and think about something else. Happy 2026, everybody.
I love that mantra, Gabby. That's why we're best friends. All right. Thanks for joining us, Gabby. Happy New Year.
You guys have a great one over there.
Parishioners at a church in Fredericton are heartbroken after thieves stole a cherished piece of history. CTV's Sarah Plowman now on what they took and the toll it's taken on the church community.
As Canadians ring in the new year, nothing is ringing here. A church bell that holds 200 years of history is gone, stolen days after Christmas.
It's a sad situation.
Who in the world would want to take a church bell?
Nearby security cameras captured a black truck around 2 a.m. Monday, but didn't pick up a license plate.
This is the actual evidence of the cutting.
The former minister at St. Peter's Anglican Church estimates the mostly brass bell weighs between 300 and 400 pounds. Thieves left a trail of damage to floodlights, a signpost, and shrubs.
Didn't care about destroying things to get to the bell.
It's believed the bell was made in England in 1820 for the original Christ Church across town. But when that church was torn down and replaced, the bell came here.
And so it's part of our collective heritage and culture. And, you know, certainly it's not something we just want to see tossed away or melted down.
The church is also significant, built in the 1830s by the local black community. Whites and blacks worshipped here together at a time when segregation was the norm.
This church has been up and open continuously, and that makes it the oldest church of any denomination in continuous use in the greater Fredericton area.
Police are investigating. The latest from Fredericton's police is that the bell hasn't been found, and they're asking for tips from the public. What's your message to the thieves?
I would like to see them return the bell.
A plea from the parish to return a link to their past as a new year begins. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
We're just a few days into 2026 now, and there's still no sign of France's missing royal jewels. But that hasn't put a stop to an exhibition in Paris of other royal jewels. The new jewel exhibit is not at the Louvre. It's at the Hôtel de Marin near the Champs-Élysées. It features diamonds and designs from Qatar's royal family from the UK and from France as well. The exhibition was planned more than 2 years ago and well before the Louvre heist. But of course, it added a bit more security just before it opened. It's Friday, January 2nd. Today, a community in mourning. How the man killed in a Winnipeg house fire is being remembered. Plus, a gradual return. What's the latest update on the power outage in Pimicikamat Cree Nation? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, 7 a.m. on January 2nd. Thanks for helping to kick off your New Year's here on Your Morning Winnipeg. I'm Catherine Dow, filling in today for Rochelle Legacy. Daniel Holmerson in the chair now for Terry Gale. We are just spending the show really getting excited for the new year, and some of that can be about taking responsible measures in our lives. Sometimes we don't like to think about emergencies, but they are very important to be prepared for, especially when we live in such a punishing climate. So we're going to be joined by the Canadian Red Cross a little later on this hour to talk about emergency preparedness in your home, what a kit should have, how you should be ready with you and your whole family, and other tips just to stay safe, not only in the winter when it is so cold outside, but also in other months when we can deal with power outages, storms, those types of things. That's at 7:50. Meanwhile, Daniel Holmerson, we talked about those punishing temperatures. It was pretty rough the last couple of days. What are we up to this weekend?
Well, very cold to start the day, minus 24 outside right now, feeling more like minus 35. The wind out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour, shaking our cameras a little bit, but mainly clear skies, the pressure dropping and the humidity sitting at 81%. It's much the same as we saw the last couple of days. It's cold, cold, cold. It's going to get a little bit better as we move into the weekend, getting back to seasonal average temperatures. Now, starting off this morning, some scattered flurries up north. Down here in the south, though, as I mentioned, fairly clear. Now, the clouds are going to roll in as we move through Friday with some sunny breaks, but mainly cloudy, and overnight we'll see a little bit of snowfall here in southern and central Manitoba, 2 to 4 centimeters expected. And moving through Saturday, though, clearing up relatively nicely for the afternoon, but more snow expected on Sunday, rolling through from the west. Now, taking a look over the next few days, as I mentioned, -14 tomorrow, but then back to above seasonal average temperatures, -9 on Sunday with that chance of snow, and to kick off the first full work week of 2026, -8 on Monday, mainly cloudy skies throughout most of the week, -9 on Tuesday. And our weather art of the day, this one's from Brynja, 7 years old. She's still in the Christmas spirit. Please keep that artwork coming. We're running low, so send them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Thank you, Daniel. An outpouring of support from neighbors and friends for the man who died after a fatal house fire Monday afternoon. Clayton T. Stewart was a well-known Indigenous comedian in the community and was just 45 years old. Thousands of dollars have been donated to a GoFundMe page in his memory as his family deals with loss of life and their home. The CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you one of Stewart's best friends is also devastated by the loss.
I wouldn't buy the house last night. I just don't know why. I had to go and look at it.
Nelson Mayer is struggling to understand how this could happen. His best friend and comedy partner, Clayton T. Stewart, passed away on Monday afternoon in a house fire on Nassau Street. 3 other people were able to get out of the house. Mayer says Stewart was like a little brother to him.
Clayton was loved by everybody. Clayton was the one that kept the shows going forward. He was the one that brought everybody in, made them feel welcomed and a part of something. And he was just like that. Everybody could meet him and feel like they'd been friends for years.
And the two have been friends for 24 years. Mayer says he met Stewart in 2001. They worked together on an independent wrestling promotion run by Mayer's dad. Years later, their paths crossed again in St. Vital after Stewart attended a stand-up open mic hosted by Mayer.
Clayton came out to check out the open mic, and I put him on stage and just fell in love with his personality. Just a great host, energy, really fun.
Mayer says Stewart's personality made him the perfect comedic partner. The two became the Bad Apples, an Indigenous comedy duo. After the pandemic, they went on a cross-Canada road trip, doing what they love to do most, entertaining.
We decided let's get back to it, and so we went full steam ahead, and I think we did 7 or 8 full tours as the Bad Apples.
More shows were planned for 2026, and those are now up in the air. Willow Schuyler lives on Rathgar, just down the street from the blaze. She didn't know the residents personally, but is trying to help find their 3 cats who were missing after the fire.
I've been calling their names, trying to see if they are around, and just trying to be the friendly neighbor that I am. When I found out that someone had died, I just immediately burst into tears.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
And as of this morning, more than $29,000 has been donated towards a goal of $40,000. In a news conference on Wednesday, Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service Chief Christian Smith said there are early indications the cause of the fire is accidental. Manitoba Hydro finished repairing the downed power line for Pimicikamak Cree Nation yesterday, but the First Nations chief says they are not out of the woods yet. Thursday, the Crown Utility says power is coming back to the community gradually. This is to avoid overloading the system and potentially damaging equipment. That's according to Hydro. The downed power line was 300 meters long and ran between 2 islands in the Nelson River. But in a social media post, Chief Monias of Pimicikamak Cree Nation says the significant concerns still remain, like frozen and burst water pipes, sewage and water systems. Monias added evacuations will continue for elders, babies, and sick or medically vulnerable people. Residents won't be asked to return to their homes until it is safe to do so. The outage started Sunday night, and the community was without power until Thursday. Newly released footage shows the dramatic moment a major water main burst in Calgary on Tuesday, plunging the city into a water crisis. This video shows the force of the break, launching a vehicle into the air. You can also see a driver standing on the hood of their vehicle to avoid the gushing water. A boil water advisory is still in effect in some areas, and the city is asking all Calgarians to take some small action to conserve water. A Winnipeg Jets defenseman will represent Canada at the February Olympics.
Josh Morrissey, shot scores!
Josh Morrissey was among the 25 NHL players selected for Team Canada for the Milano Cortina Olympic Winter Games. He's the only member of the Jets named to Team Canada, although teammate Nino Niederreiter was named to Switzerland's team earlier in 2025. Team USA will reveal its final roster today, according to TSN. The roster also includes 2 players with Manitoba connections. Mark Stone, who's originally from Winnipeg and plays for the Vegas Golden Knights, was named one of the forwards, and Elkhorn's Travis Sanheim, who plays for the Philadelphia Flyers, was selected as a defenseman. Many people tend to start the new year with good intentions, like losing weight or saving money. But as the weeks roll by, many people give up and fall back into unhealthy habits.
Where we fail is that we don't have a system. How are we going to get to those goals?
That's Kenny Tello with Orland Health, who says the first step to make your resolution stick is to have a plan, map out each step and the resources needed to accomplish your goals. And he suggests you start small. So if your goal is to exercise more, start by simply going for a walk 2 or 3 times a week after dinner and add more over time. And finally, try to attach your resolution to a higher purpose.
I'm a father and I want to be here for my daughter. So therefore, I want to be healthy.
Tello adds, if you slip up one day, it doesn't mean you have to give up on your goal altogether. Just try again the next day. Taking a look at the current traffic situation around Portage at Polo Park, picking up a little bit. Of course, we aren't expecting it to be a terribly busy drive, but if you have any traffic tips or updates you'd like to share, text them to us at 10400.
A data center project in Alberta that is backed by European firms has the potential to be worth as much as 12.8 billion Canadian over the next several years, says the head of one of the companies involved. Data District, a division of Swiss-based manager Alcrel AG, has partnered with Technologies New Energy PLC on a proposal for multiple data centers in Alberta. The $1.25 billion first phase, announced in December, begins with a site in Olds, about an hour's drive north of Calgary. But the longer-term blueprint envisions a much larger investment, with the group eventually building 1 gigawatt of data center capacity, says Carlos Caldas, Data District's chief executive officer. The main union at a Capstone copper-operated mine in northern Chile began a strike on Friday as members push for a bigger share of the windfall from record-high metal prices. There was no agreement. Union number 2 boss Eduardo Claveria confirmed in text messages, right now we're preparing to abandon the mine site. It's the first work stoppage at a sizable mine in Chile since prices of copper surged to record highs amid stockpiling in the U.S. ahead of possible tariffs and a series of operational disruptions around the world. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
If working on your physical or mental health, my goodness, are part of your 2026 goals, Ainsley McPhail has all the tips to knock them out of the park. Ainsley, I like where this has started.
I'm already winded, Catherine. And yeah, it's funny because I've got the jab, cross, hook going on here, but we're in the cycling room. Isn't that great? We're at Community Gym this morning talking all things New Year's resolutions. Now, the research shows that up to 80% of these resolutions do not continue beyond February. So, unfortunately, not a lot of people are keeping that new year, new me mentality. We're going to be chatting with various experts in the health realm about other goals that you might have. A naturopathic doctor. We're chatting with a health and nutritional and wellness coach. We're also chatting with a psychotherapist about some of the mental health goals that you might have as well. So a very holistic approach this morning. Once again, I feel like I just walked up 90 sets of stairs. So I'm going to have a nice glass of water, and I'll see you at 7:27.
And you're in amazing shape, Ainsley, so that's how hard boxing is. Thanks for that. We look forward to those tips. Rocky down there at Community Gym. Up on the rooftop, Daniel Homerson, how's it feeling?
Not good, Catherine. This wind it's coming right behind me here, and it's hitting this side of the face. I'm feeling the cold right now, and that's going to last throughout the rest of the morning. Fairly clear skies today, but yeah, with that wind chill feeling more like minus 36 right now. I don't know. I'd love to get out and get active as Ainsley's doing this morning, but I just want to crawl back in bed under a blanket and hope this passes, and it will. Over the next few days, warming up. We're going to get to about minus 15 this afternoon. Still going to feel more like minus 21. Much the same tomorrow, minus 14. Still feeling like minus 27 or so with that wind chill. But starting Sunday is when we get above seasonal average temperatures, around minus 8, minus 9 degrees. But with that, we're going to see a little more clouds in the sky. So that little trade-off we see in winter. But I take it right now because it is not nice out, and it's going to stick this way for the next few hours.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Time now for our question of the day. As you saw, Ainsley's on location at a gym this morning, chatting with guests about making healthier choices in the new year. So we want to know from you, what are your health and fitness goals for 2026? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we are all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. And because we were off yesterday, we're honoring our pet of the week this morning. Good morning to Cheese the cat. Cheese loves baths and Christmas trees. Smile now and say cheese because you're our first pet of the week in 2026. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca. Catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our pet of the week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Taking a check-in on traffic on Provincial Bridge. Traffic moving along at a good clip. Roads a little bit slick this morning, but nothing there to slow you down. We're going to head into a break, but don't go anywhere. Plenty more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Welcome back. One Manitoban is among the 80 new Order of Canada appointments announced Wednesday. Richard Chartier, a former Chief Justice of Manitoba, was appointed for his leadership in improving access to justice and language rights in Manitoba. The Governor General noted his landmark report on French language services has had a lasting impact. Chartier served as Chief Justice in the province from 2013 to 2022. Members also named to the order include 7-time Olympic medalist Andre DeGrasse and country superstar Terry Clark. Clark is the first Canadian female inducted into the Grand Ole Opry. Barrie police are investigating after a 10-year-old child was found dead on New Year's Eve.
Absolutely heartbreaking. So it's just everybody's in shock and want to know what's going on.
Police were called to a home in Barrie, Ontario for a wellness check around 3 p.m. Wednesday. When officers arrived, they found the child dead. A 47-year-old woman, who police say is the child's mother, was taken to hospital. Police have not provided any details about the child's cause of death. They say there is no risk to public safety. Increased American tariffs on upholstered furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities have been delayed for a year. U.S. President Donald Trump signed a New Year's Eve proclamation delaying the move because of ongoing trade talks. The increases were set to take effect Thursday and would have seen a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture and a 50% duty on kitchen cabinets and vanities. Those have been pushed back 1 year, but a 25% tariff imposed in September on those goods remains in place. Trump has said the duties on furniture are needed to bolster American industry and protect national security. An iconic winter landmark opened at the Forks for another year.
The best thing about the Nestor River Trail is the fact that it's a completely new way to look at the city. You know, we kind of, or myself personally, shy away from winter, and this is a way to get out and embrace it, and you get to see a city from a whole new angle.
Yesterday, Nestawaya River Trail at the Forks opened for skaters. About 50 people showed up to skate away their first day of 2026. Only a section of the annual river trail has opened. The Forks says this is to make sure everything is safe. More sections are expected to open on the Red and Assiniboine rivers as nature allows. You can check which section is open by checking their website, theforks.com. The Forks says the entire trail usually spans 6 kilometers. Taking another check on traffic at Confusion Corner. Quiet, decent traffic volumes there. Nothing much to slow you down. But if you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Time now for your entertainment news. The Weeknd is sitting atop the music world in a very important category. He was the highest paid musician of 2025. Forbes says Toronto's own superstar earned $298 million over the past 12 months. Coming in second was Taylor Swift at $202 million, and Beyonce, who earned $148 million last year. I'm just barely edged out of that list, darn. There's some great news for fans of the K-pop sensation BTS. Their long-awaited comeback date has been officially confirmed. The group will return with a new album on March 20th, and that'll be followed by a world tour. It'll be the first album featuring all of the members in 3 years. BTS activities as a group have been on hiatus, while all 7 of them carried out South Korea's mandatory military service. To the movies now, and box office revenue in Canada and the U.S. rose 2% in 2025. A new Comscore report says ticket sales increased to nearly $9 billion in what's being called a small but significant gain. It comes despite long stretches of empty seats, as well as several wide releases that failed to draw crowds. A number of franchises are hoping to keep sales up by offering membership deals to frequent customers. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 tonight with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Then at 8 and 9, Project Runway Canada. Happy's Place wrap things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
A very cold start to your morning here in downtown Winnipeg, minus 24, feeling more like minus 36 with the wind out of the west at 23 kilometers per hour. Mainly clear skies with the pressure dropping and the humidity sitting at 79%. See the camera shaking a little bit there. That wind, as I felt when I was up on the roof, is playing a factor this morning. But taking a look around the rest of the province, out in West Manitoba, minus 22 in Brandon right now, minus 20 just north of there in Dauphin, minus 23 up in the Paw. Here in Winnipeg, as you saw, minus 24, a little nicer to our west and about the same to our east, minus 22 in Gimli, and just over the border in northwest Ontario, minus 23 in Kenora. Up north, minus 17 in Churchill, minus 21 in Thompson. North could see some scattered flurries throughout the day. We likely going to see some here overnight in Winnipeg, and in the northwest, minus 23 in Lynn Lake as we speak. And those wind chill values obviously playing a role as well, as I experienced up on the roof. And taking a look over the next few days, minus 14 tomorrow here in Winnipeg under partly cloudy skies, and then warming up to kick off Sunday and through the work week, minus 9 on Monday, or minus 8 on Monday, minus 9 on Tuesday, getting up to minus 7 on Wednesday. And our Skywatch pick of the day, this one's from Dan out in Ericsdale, a beautiful sunrise. Keep those pictures coming. You can send them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. First off, meet this 2-year-old boy whose name is Luca. He's full of energy and looking for a family to teach him some new tricks and to take him on adventures. Next up, this black and white tuxedo named Dolores, love the name. This energetic 1-year-old bundle of joy loves playing with bell balls and cat wands. If that's the vibe you want to take into 2026, adopt Dolores. And meet Franny, a happy, outgoing girl who loves meeting new people. She's learning her manners, me too, while in the shelter, and with a little guidance, she'll shine even more. Franny's exuberant personality and sweet nature make her a joy to be around. If you think you can offer any of these sweet animals a good home, just head to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number's there on your screen. Students from Ontario's University of Windsor are transforming fish waste into healthy, sustainable dog treats. Had to read that twice. CTV's Stephanie Massotti has the details.
There's the bones, like the skeleton, obviously, the scales, the remaining fat that they have, like the meat. Anything like that, even the eyes we get.
Roseanne Hamoud is the bio lead for Project 100% Fish, which uses waste no longer needed by Canada's largest privately owned lake fish company, John O' Foods in Wheatley. Waste that would end up in a landfill.
They only really use 60% of it. We take the 40% waste, and that we use 100% of that to make different products. So right now we're really focusing on the dog biscuits.
The fish gets thawed out and rinsed under cold water. 2 pounds of it is weighed and placed in a pressure cooker for 45 minutes. It's then grinded into the food processor.
Then we add the other ingredients to it, like pumpkin, flour, eggs, and we lay it out cut the cookies, bake them, and package them.
The process takes 6 hours.
We're waiting to make sure it's completely safe. I'm sure it is, but we just want to make sure everything's good and we go through all the correct testing before we give it to any pet.
The end result, what's called Erie Eco Bites. Biggest challenge, scalability.
The way that we get the fish waste and then getting it to us and then us actually making the product, there's got to be a lot of work to do for us to sell the product at a larger scale.
It's a great opportunity for us to combine both Odette business students and biology students here at the Great Lakes Institute to kind of combine and use both their strengths to produce this product and then produce essentially students that have training for the next generation of entrepreneurs.
There's also a charitable component to the project.
For every dog treat we sell, we want to give back one treat to the Humane Society.
Dog treats aren't the only products these University of Windsor students are working on.
We're hopefully going to do like a burn cream, so you put it on and it helps the burns heal faster, a collagen powder and a collagen cream as well.
Stephanie Mazzani, CTV News.
Ainsley McPhail is hanging out this morning at the community gym, learning how we can take care of our mental and physical health in 2026. That's coming up at 7:28. Bringing in the new year usually means setting some resolutions for ourselves, and that's precisely the theme of Ainsley McPhail's Live this morning. Who are you chatting with now, Ainsley?
I'm chatting with a mental health specialist, Melissa Mashikori. Now, a lot of people have physical health goals. We're at community gym this morning, but mental health should not be overlooked. Melissa, what are some common mental health goals people have?
I think this year what I'm really seeing, sort of in line with the theme of 2025 being the year of shedding, a lot of people are really wanting to let go of the things that don't serve them anymore. So that could be like old relationships that are no longer, serving them, old jobs, different ways of the lifestyle. So just letting go of what no longer serves them and trying to focus on building a life for themselves that does.
And what are some practical ways that people can start to do this?
I think one of the things I always like to share with clients is really trying to train yourself to focus on the things that you do have. So coming from a place of gratitude, and that's really consciously pointing out the things that you have gratitude for every day, whether you make a mental note or write it down, because then what that does is it really helps you to notice those things throughout your day, and then it just becomes more and more apparent. So focusing on abundance rather than lacking is definitely a good way to start.
And much like the physical goals, right? It's a muscle. These are daily practices. It's not necessarily just all in.
Yes, totally, 100%. I think it's just, living as best you can every day, really enjoying your moment, remembering that this moment is actually the only moment that exists ever. So, we don't have to put so much pressure on ourselves.
No doubt. And talking it through as well when it comes to those mental health conversations, it can be extremely tough. Why is just chatting about it so helpful?
Yeah, I think a lot of us walk around with all of these thoughts living sort of rent-free in our heads all the time. And, we have self-talk while we're driving, while we're getting ready in the morning. And sometimes just sitting down with somebody and actually articulating what we're going through, what we're thinking, what we're feeling can be really positive. Not only are you going to get, your validation, but you're going to really, focus on where you're at, but where you want to go as well with somebody who is there for you to support you through it.
Thank you so much. And yeah, you're certainly not alone in this journey, in this health journey, mental and physical. Coming up at 7:42, we're chatting with a naturopath.
Looking forward to hearing those tips. Thanks, Ainsley. What about you, Daniel? Any New Year's resolutions?
Nope, I don't make any. It's okay.
A lot of people don't. And sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. Some people just try and do their best all year round, like me.
You're doing great, Catherine. To start the year, you're doing great.
Not really, but we digress.
It's a minus 24 out in Winnipeg right now. Feeling more like minus 36. Fairly clear skies, though, with the wind out of the west at 23 kilometers per hour. Pressure's dropping. Humidity sitting at 79%. It will warm up over the coming hours, but very cold start to the day. If you haven't left the house, just stay in your PJs. That's what I did yesterday, and I'm going to do as soon as I get home. But here in Winnipeg today, a high of minus 15. Wind out of the west still, just easing up a little bit to 10 kilometers per hour. Mostly cloudy, though we will have some sunny breaks in the afternoon. overnight. The temperature is actually remaining around -15, very light winds and a light snow overnight, 2 to 4 centimeters expected here in Winnipeg. And tomorrow, -14, going to feel closer to -27 with the wind chill, with the wind out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast on Sunday, a high of -9. That's above seasonal average temperatures right now, but chance of some more snow as we head into the first full work week of 2026. -8 on Monday under cloudy skies, much of the same as we move through the week. -9 on Tuesday and -7 on Wednesday.
Thanks, Daniel. A group representing a coalition of consumers advocacy organizations says the decision to raise hydro rates beyond what the Crown Corporation was requesting is understandable. However, the Public Interest Law Centre says Manitoba Hydro should be making a greater effort to keep its finances under control.
Of course, the first year, a lot of the stress was put on the drought impacts. But looking at the second and third year, a lot of what is driving those rate requests by Manitoba Hydro are placeholder budgets for capital projects and for maintenance projects that do not have detailed budgets and have not gone through an integrated resource plan public review.
Those comments come after the Public Utilities Board granted the Crown utility a 4% rate interim increase that began on Thursday. Hydro had asked for a 3.5% bump, but the PUB decided a larger increase was necessary, as historically low water levels have cost Hydro some $600 million. Still, the Public Interest Law Centre says that increase is going to be tough for some folks to handle.
During the hearing, we heard about people who are making very difficult choices with respect to their electricity usage. For example, only heating rooms that they're in, only using an air fryer rather than an oven to save on electricity costs. Those are very difficult decisions that families are making. We would expect Manitoba Hydro to make the same kinds of difficult choices when it comes to their own costs.
The PUB said it would give a final decision on rates for the remainder of the fiscal year that ends in 2028, sometime in the new year. A public ceremony was held outside New York City Hall Thursday afternoon to celebrate the inauguration of Mayor Zoran Mamdani. Mamdani was sworn in just after midnight in a smaller private ceremony. Several other city officials also took their oaths of office Thursday. The event was attended by notable political figures, including New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
My fellow New Yorkers, today begins a new era. I stand before you, moved by the privilege of taking this sacred oath, humbled by the faith that you have placed in me.
Mamdani is both New York's first Muslim and first South Asian mayor. He previously served as a member of the New York State Assembly. A fire truck that first rolled into Stonewall more than 75 years ago could once again drive through town.
We've had a lot of people comment on their support for us bringing this truck back to Stonewall, and we just want to show people the history of the Stonewall Fire Department and the truck that used to provide support for the town of Stonewall.
Kevin Botten with the Stonewall Rockwood Fire Department said the department bought the fire truck this fall from an antique collector in Petersfield. He says the fire truck was used in Stonewall from 1948 into the 80s, adding that the relic was in amazing condition. Since the purchase, the department has been working on the restoration to make it roadworthy.
It was the 30 members within our department that felt it was an integral part of the community and it needed to come back to the town of Stonewall.
The department hopes to have the engine restored over the next few months and have it running by next summer. As for the truck's use, they hope to have it in parades and on display. In environmental news, the city of Cartagena has started replacing its iconic horse-drawn carriages with electric ones. The move has come after years of protests by animal rights activists. The new carriages are built to look like the traditional horse-drawn ones, but they're powered by batteries and have steering wheels instead of reins. Cartagena is the first major world tourist destination to replace horse buggies with electric carriages. And you may remember Montreal banned its horse-drawn carriages back in 2019. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Emperor Street is closed from Saskatchewan to Wellington for electrical work. Cathedral Avenue is closed between Mackenzie and Parr for water work, as is Bunting Street from Church to Inkster. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, you can text them to us at 10400. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.21. Provincial average significantly lower at $1.11. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.09 per litre. Lowest price in the city is $1.04. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Taking a check outside, it is a frigid start to your day, to your new year, -24. Daniel Halmerson has details on whether a warm-up is in the cards. That's ahead.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
-24 outside here in Winnipeg right now, feeling closer to -36 with that wind chill. Fairly clear skies with the wind coming out of the west at 23 kilometers per hour. Pressure dropping, humidity sitting at 79%. Yeah, it's a cold start to the second day of 2026, and it's going to warm up a little bit at least this afternoon. But taking a look at some highs for today around the province. Up north, -17 high in Gillam, -15 in Churchill, -19 in Thompson. Now that region is expected to see a few snow flurries here and there throughout the day. No significant accumulation, but something to keep an eye on. Up in the northwest, -22 high in Lynn Lake under mainly cloudy skies. Little more sunshine in Flin Flon, high of -18 in Norway House, -18 as well, and the Paw -17 under mainly cloudy skies. In western Manitoba, high of -14 in Brandon today, fairly cloudy out there, -12 in Neepawa, much the same in Dauphin and in Swan River as well. Could see a little bit of snow there. Here in Winnipeg, high of -15 under mainly cloudy skies, though we will have some sunny breaks there. Much of the same throughout the rest of the area. -13 down in Steinbach, -18 up in Barons River today. And if we look just over the border in Ontario, -14 high in Fort Francis under partly cloudy skies. Much of the same up in Red Lake, -18 high today. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast here in Winnipeg, -14 tomorrow under partly cloudy skies. We'll probably wake up to some fresh snow on the ground, but that's going to ease off as we move through the day. But the snow returning on Sunday with a high of -9. And to start the work week, much of the same above seasonal temperatures here in Winnipeg.
Thanks, Daniel. Heading back to Community Gym, where Ainsley McPhail is spending the morning getting us all set to hit our 2026 New Year's resolutions.
And Catherine, this time of year has a lot of us thinking, or I guess I should say reevaluating how the year previously went, going, are we walking enough? Are we sleeping enough? Are we eating enough? Am I getting that water in? And a naturopathic doctor might be for you if you want to answer those questions or improve your overall health. Dr. Nicole Pander joins us to tell us all about this practice. So when we talk about a naturopathic doctor, what is your role?
My role is like a gap filler in healthcare. So what I mean by gap filler is we're filling in the gaps where maybe conventional care is lacking. So whether that is like prevention medicine, a lot of people don't know what that is. That's like preventing chronic illness. I think when it comes to medicine, we're like looking at lab work and being like, are you within the range? But I'm looking for like optimization of the range. So making sure you're not too low, too high, etc. I think we also work on holistic care. So looking at you as like a full person rather than just treating symptoms. So looking at, okay, is your headache connected to your gut health, connected to your anxiety, for example, things like that.
It's so awesome, too, because when you listen to podcasts or read books, you hear all these words like gut health, and then you go, well, I'm not a doctor, but it's good to actually come to the professionals and have these conversations. What are some common goals that people come and see you with?
I think a lot of goals that people come, mostly I see a lot of digestive health. So people are like, I want to improve my gut health. Okay, great. Or I want to improve my immune system. I want to reduce anxiety, reduce stress in my life. I think improve on maybe focusing on weight loss or weight management or how to live longer, healthier lives, etc.
And is a lot of this rooted in our eating habits?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm a very firm believer in you are what you eat, because for sure, like when you eat more clean, you eat more fiber, you eat more protein, etc., you're going to feel better, more energy, etc., to go about your day. So,
is there anything you'd want people to know heading into the new year?
I think small changes are better than drastic ones. I think a lot of people have New Year's resolutions of like, I'm going to lose 40 pounds in a month, or I'm going to, change my whole life and improve my mental health in 2 months because I'm so anxious. I think a lot of these goals are not really realistic, and I encourage people to think about like SMART goals, which are, specific. There's like an actual achievable goal there as well.
Thank you. Actionable changes over time. We really appreciate you coming in and having this conversation with us. Coming up at 8:06, we're chatting with a health coach. Stay with us.
Thanks, Ainsley. An Ottawa man has turned a DIY project into a multi-million-dollar business. He's given sports families a new way to cheer on their kids thanks to his Loud Cup. CTV's Sean Varden explains.
That is a Loud Cup.
So we launched in 2021, and last July, I think we hit 1 million Loud Cups sold. And
it started during the COVID lockdown, an idea to entertain kids. Just a few pieces of pipe and a bicycle inner tube.
It was actually quite effective, and the way that it was sitting on my desk, it looked like a cup with a handle on it. And then for whatever reason, my mind starts wandering. And, I thought, well, that'd be a pretty awesome mashup, a cup that sounds like a horn.
That idea transformed into a local success story, now worth millions.
So eventually, during COVID, I had a little eureka moment and decided to try and 3D print it, and it just snowballed from there.
Prototype after prototype.
After dozens of prototypes and countless hours, success.
And I can sip and cheer at the same time. The moms just love it. I mean, not only does it allow us to bring a drink in the arena of water, of course, and but we don't need a bell anymore. We just use the Loud Cup. We can sip and we can blow the horn and then cheer our kids.
Conahan's business growing, the Ottawa startup not forgetting to give back, sponsoring local golf pros, rowing and hockey.
Called Jay and I said, hey Jay, the team's looking for sponsorship, and Jay said, yeah, no problem.
The Stittsville Rams receiving funds and their own Loud Cups.
We bring it loud and proud, and yeah, we love it.
Obviously we're a business, and we're here to make money, but if we can support youth, if we can support families, we're all in.
So far, Loud Cups are only available online. Conahan says with 6 employees, it's a lot of work, and he's looking to partner to take the business to the next level.
It's been an absolute exhausting but wild ride for sure.
Sean Varden, CTV News.
All right, let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 6th birthday, Millie. Love from Mom, Dad, Lenny, and Ollie. Happy 4th birthday, Alina. Love Mom, Dad, and Nathan. Happy 18th birthday, Chloe. Hope you have a great birthday. That's a love from your family. Happy 5th birthday, Leland. Love from your mom and dad. Happy 56th birthday, Andy. Hope you enjoy your special day. Love from your family. Happy 11th birthday, Chloe, with love from your family. Happy 7th birthday, Callie Joe. Best wishes from your family. And happy 90th birthday to Anna, with love from your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It's going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
high of minus 15 this afternoon. A little colder than our seasonal average of minus 13, but our overnight low well above that seasonal low of minus 23 last year. About the same, just around 13 degrees, and our record set way back in 1896 of 3.3 degrees. Now, sun slowly peeking out to our east here, but the cold, frigid temperatures remain right now. I've been talking about this wind out of the west. Still there. Minus 24, feeling closer to minus 36 today. So if you are heading out this morning, make sure you're bundled up, let that car warm up just a little bit before you leave. But it is going to get up, as I mentioned, about minus 15 this afternoon. It's still going to feel closer to minus 21 with the wind chill. Now, overnight, we could see a little bit of snow develop here in Winnipeg and the surrounding area, 2 to 4 centimeters. So waking up tomorrow, probably a little bit of new or fresh snow on the ground. Getting up to minus 14 tomorrow, but still going to feel a lot colder with the wind chill. And then Sunday, we're going to see a little more snow, but the temperatures are going to pick up above seasonal heading into the first full week of 2026.
It can feel hard to plan for them. They often happen when we least expect them. I'm talking about emergencies, be it a sudden power outage, a severe storm. But there are ways to make sure you and your home are prepared when that unexpected, often dangerous situation arises. Joining me now to share more tips on this is Jason Small with the Canadian Red Cross. Jason, thanks for joining us. Good to speak with you.
Thank you for having me.
So emergencies, again, not something we love to prepare for, but we'd rather be safe than sorry. Starting off with something called a household plan. You say everyone should have one, an emergency plan.
Yeah,
what does that mean exactly?
Right. So Canadian Red Cross, we believe every household should have an emergency plan. People can go to redcross.ca/ready. We have templates in a dozen languages to help people get started. And so that plan mainly lays out what the family would do in case of an emergency, maybe where you would go. Could be a relative outside of town, how you would get out of your community and out of your neighborhood, and different routes just in case something happens to one of your routes. So it looks at how you would take care of your pets. Whatever was necessary for your family, the plan can set that out so you're prepared, and then as a family, you practice that plan so that you're ready in case an emergency does happen.
You also say that you need to know the potential risks of your specific community, because, you know, an emergency plan for a home in California will not be the same for one in Winnipeg, right?
That's exactly it. Know what the risks are in your community and at what time of year, what are the greater risks, and understand also your community's plan, and also understand your community itself, maybe your neighborhood. Maybe there's people in your neighborhood that need special help that you could help as a neighbor. It's all these things just to consider, not just your home, but also the broader community.
And I know with winter driving, we talk all the time about emergency vehicle kits. You should have one for your home as well, and you've brought an example. So show us what are some things we should have on hand.
Perfect. So this is the emergency kit. The Red Cross does sell these, but we also have on our website at redcross.ca/ready a whole suggestion of how to put together your own kit. So I just have pulled out a couple of things here. One thing we have that to me is pretty crucial is the crank and solar operated flashlight and radio.
Cool.
And it's pretty important. You can also charge it when you're not in disaster time.
Don't need a power source, obviously,
exactly.
is the key point there.
Yeah, and the whole point being it's good to have that also so you can keep up to date with what's going on. Mm-hmm. We have a personal first aid kit, always crucial. And then this is a collapsible water holder.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, the kit should have things like that. Non-perishable food, and non-perishable food that your family will eat.
Yeah,
like
it's not the time to eat the freeze-dried spaghetti if no one's going to eat it, right?
This kit has a rations pack. If you're not going to eat it, don't put it in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're going to have cans, like a manual can opener, but also important documents for your family that you need to have. Maybe important medications for you, your children, your pets. Spare, from somebody like me, spare pair of glasses is great. So these just some of these things to think about. We have like a whole list of things to consider. Extra cash, maybe a battery charger that's solar powered for your phone. Just a lot of things to think about when you put it together, and then you have this kit, you have it somewhere very easily accessible, and the whole family knows where it is, and that's part of your plan. so that when an emergency happens and you don't have much time, you can just grab it and go.
I was sort of in an emergency actually just a couple days ago. I got home and the heat wasn't working, and I realized I don't have a space heater, and how all the things you'd think if you're living in a cold climate. So this is a great reminder. It's also important that the kit should have something for the whole family, right? Not just for mom, dad, whoever needs to access it, there should be something there for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mentioned with pets, maybe having extra pet food, medication for your pets if you have that. For your children, part of it is if you're putting non-perishable food in, make sure it's something they might want to eat, maybe a little bit of your favorite snacks.
I gotcha. So if they're not eating broccoli on the best of times, they're not eating it
in the worst
in a can
of times,
or any vegetable for that matter.
And also, if maybe you can put in a couple of things for recreation for kids, maybe even just like a small coloring book and some crayons. Just some things to think about so that if you've got to, go shelter in place or go somewhere for 3 days, that you have that, and it just helps make the time go by.
Great to keep in mind. Jason, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. In 4, we head to Toronto, where the Jets were trailing Maple Leafs by 1 in the last 10 seconds. Puck finds Mark Scheifele, but he's robbed by Dennis Hildeby. Scheifele looking at an open net, but he's denied what would have been the game-tying hat-trick goal. Hildeby entered the game after Joseph Woll got pulled, and he lands himself the game saver. And your must-see moment from Thursday. Coming up today on TSN, it's quarterfinal day of the World Juniors. We got Sweden facing Latvia at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then Canada will take on Slovakia, coverage beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Friday, January 2nd. Today, deadly house fire. How crews rushed to a Nassau Street South home, but intense flames delayed rescue efforts. Plus, Pimicikamak Cree Nation outage. Electricity is returning slowly as evacuations and infrastructure concerns persist. And squishy toy warning. How popular kids' fidget toys linked to chemical burns and dangerous online threats. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Welcome back, 8 a.m. on January 2nd. Thanks for kicking off your New Year's and your day here with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We've got lots to finish up the show with, including an interview I'm really looking forward to at 8:15, talking about a new change coming into Manitoba's healthcare centers, facilities system. Basically, what's happening is the province has changed the self-referral age to access a breast cancer screening test. So it used to be you had to be 50 or older to get that test without a doctor's referral. Now you have to be 45. We're going to be chatting with some advocates who say this change is long overdue and they hope more are on the way. So those details coming up at 8:15. Daniel, we're starting off the year on a rather chilly note. I'm hoping Mother Nature is going to be a bit more generous with us in the days to come.
It's going to get better. Today, though, not that great to start. Minus 24 outside right now, feeling like minus 36 under mainly clear skies. You can see the sun rising there, beautiful orange in the sky. Wind out of the west at 23 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping and humidity sitting at 79%. A cold start to the day. I've been up on the roof and dreading the next 2 hits up on the roof as well this morning because it's not nice out. It's going to get a little bit better as we move through the day. Now up north, maybe some scattered flurries to start your Friday. Here in the south, as you saw, mainly clear skies, a little cloudier out to our west. Now that cloud is going to roll in as we move through Friday. Some sunny breaks here and there in the south, and up north, much of the same. But overnight, some more snow. 2 to 4 centimeters expected throughout southern and central Manitoba. But tomorrow, mainly clear skies, a mix of sun and cloud in the afternoon and a high of minus 14. Before Sunday, we could see some more snow throughout basically all of southern Manitoba. And a very quick look at your 7-day forecast. I'm going to get out of the way here. Above seasonal temperatures starting on Sunday. And our weather art of the day, this is from 7-year-old Brynja. Still in that holiday spirit. Keep your art coming and send them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Meantime, new details about that fire and the response. Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Chief Christian Schmidt says crews responded as early as 5 minutes after that 911 call came in for the fire on Nassau Street North. However, he says the first units to arrive couldn't immediately rescue the victim.
While they knew there may be someone inside this building, they immediately determined an external fire attack had to take place before they could safely enter the building. The fire was so significant that it was not possible to make entry without first reducing some of the fire on the exterior, which they started doing immediately.
He says several additional crews continue to respond, at times arriving just a minute apart from one another, and with the final unit arriving 16 minutes after the 911 call was made. According to Schmidt, preliminary indications suggest the fire was accidental.
The National Fire Protection Agency standard recommends 15 firefighters to arrive on a scene within 8 minutes, 90% of the time. In this instance, we had 12 firefighters at the scene within 8 minutes, and their work began immediately. We had 20 firefighters on this scene within 12 minutes, and we had 24 firefighters there within 16 minutes of the night.
Schmidt says the blaze brings the unofficial number of Winnipeg fire deaths to 3 for 2025. Manitoba Hydro finished repairing the downed power line for Pimicikamak Cree Nation yesterday, but the First Nations chief says they're not out of the woods yet. Thursday, the Crown Utility says power is coming back to the community gradually. This is to avoid overloading the system and potentially damaging equipment, according to Hydro. The downed power line was 300 meters long and ran between 2 islands in the Nelson River. But in a social media post, Chief David Monius of Pimicikamak Cree Nation says the significant concerns still remain, like frozen and burst water pipes, sewage, and water systems. Monius added evacuations will continue for elders, babies, and sick or medically vulnerable people. Residents won't be asked to return to their homes until it is safe to do so. The outage began Sunday night, and the community was without power until Thursday. It's a new year, meaning new dog breeds.
AKC has announced that it has bought 3 breeds into full recognition, and those breeds are the Basset Fauve de Bretagne, the Russian Svetnaya Balanka, and the Teddy Roosevelt Terrier.
The Basset Fauve is a very old hound with French origins. They're said to be good hunters, diligent, and excellent companions. The Russian dog is a sweet companion, playful and inquisitive. And the Teddy Roosevelt Terriers are very active and have been around for a long time, hunting rodents in homes and on farms. So what does this recognition mean? These dogs can now compete at the Westminster Dog Show. In total, the American Kennel Club recognizes 209 breeds of dogs. Taking a look at the current traffic situation around the St. James Bridge, starting to get a bit busier along this stretch. Not as many folks out there on the road, given it's still the holidays. But if you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400. Ainsley McPhail is spending her morning at the Community Gym, helping us get set for a healthier 2026. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Catherine. This gym is bumping right now, honestly. Since basically 5:30 in the morning, people filtering in and out, which is telling me it's not just New Year's resolutions. Manitobans are working hard. But if you need a health coach, I'm joined by Mitch Calvert. Mitch, what's a health coach?
Great question. There's some nuance to it. It's not just personal training. It's oftentimes someone who helps you get your nutrition handled, which is obviously the big driver of most people's goals, and set up a nutrition plan and a workout plan and keep you accountable, most importantly, having that daily support to get out in your own head, to stop self-sabotaging, and to ultimately get the goals you want for yourself, right, when it comes to health and fitness.
What are some of those common goals? Because this time of year, people really look in the mirror and go, oh no, I feel like I've procrastinated too long. I need to do everything all at once.
Yeah, well, the big one is obviously weight loss, which is more nuanced than people realize. Like, you want to lose body fat and maintain muscle, bone, and oftentimes people get really aggressive this time of year and they lose everything. They throw the baby out with the bathwater, the muscle, the bone, the water. So you want to take it a little bit slower and methodical, and certainly go to gyms like this and weight train, and that's going to be the most, sustainable approach ultimately for most people.
What are some baby steps? Because you said do it slower and methodical, but it is overwhelming when you're looking at the end goal?
Yeah, I would first start with stop putting Baileys in your coffee, right? The holidays are largely over at this point, so a little less liquid calories. And then just move more, clean up your diet a little bit, whole foods. You know, ultimately we all understand what we should be eating and we don't necessarily do it. So honestly, it's those little tweaks compounded over time that make all the difference.
And then sometimes too, we sit before we make a big decision and we go, you know, it's like we're planning and planning and planning. We don't act, but we got to act.
Yeah, don't wait for motivation. Momentum is what drives results. So honestly, just a walk around the block today will lead to a walk around 2 blocks tomorrow. And that's really how results happen, is like little efforts compounded and you start knocking small dominoes over and it starts to hit bigger and bigger dominoes the longer you go, the longer you stay consistent.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Maybe don't do those wind sprints in -30. Just wait for it to get a little bit nicer.
I don't want to do them any time of year, honestly, but good tips to get us back in action. Thanks, Ainsley. If your kids love those soft, squishy fidget toys, the ones you squeeze for stress relief, well, you might want to take a closer look if you have them. A new investigation found some of these toys can break open and leak chemicals that are potentially dangerous. Here's CTV's Pat Forum with a consumer alert.
Loved by kids, these bright, colorful squishy balls are often marketed as calming sensory tools, but there is a troubling trend. Hundreds of one-star reviews on Amazon saying the toys popped within an hour or broke within 2 hours of playing with it. The sticky gel from some toys left kids with red, irritated, or peeling skin. Reports on the website saferproducts.gov claim children suffered severe skin irritation after their squishy toys burst open.
Breakage alone is a concern, but when we saw reports of kids with red or peeling skin and even chemical burn-like injuries, that really raised serious questions, and it made us want to take a look at what's inside of these.
Companies don't have to list the ingredients of what's inside these squishy toys. Consumer Reports tested some of them to learn more about what they're made of.
Scientists bought 8 squishy gel toys, broke them open, and tested the pH of the gel inside. 7 had a neutral pH. One of them, the Nido Groovy Glob, had a pH level of 2, which is as acidic as lemon juice or vinegar.
That level of acidity could pose a risk of chemical burns, especially on children's delicate skin. Schilling, the maker of Nido, challenged the findings and said the inner gel is made of polyvinyl alcohol, which is safe for skin contact. The company said after selling 100 million Nido toys, there have only been 4 reports of incidents to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. TikTok trends have been encouraging people to microwave squishy toys to make them softer. Don't do that. Testers found some toys exploded after just 15 seconds, reaching temperatures above 200 degrees, which could cause instant burns.
Never microwave or freeze them. Don't leave them in the car. Don't give gel-filled toys to babies or toddlers.
And if one does break on your child's skin, wash it off right away and throw the toy out. Pat Foran, CTV News.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
The sun is slowly rising, but those temperatures aren't. Still -24 here in Winnipeg, feeling more like -35. The wind out of the west at 22 kilometers per hour, pressure dropping, and the humidity sitting at 76%. We've been at -24 here all morning long, and taking a look around the rest of the province, much of the same, -19 down in the Morden-Winkler area, -21 out in Brandon this hour, Dauphin at -20, and over the border in Ontario, -24 in Kenora. And as we move north, -21 up in Thompson, maybe a few scattered snowflakes here and there, -17 in Churchill. And in the northwest, cold as well with that wind chill, -35 in Lynn Lake, and feeling cold throughout the entire western half of the province as we speak. Now, taking a look later today, we're expected to get up to around -15 here in Winnipeg, under mainly cloudy skies, though we should see a few sunny breaks. And overnight, -15 as well. So that temperature staying relatively flat for the day, but we will see some snow later on today or tonight. 2 to 4 centimeters, waking up tomorrow to a high of -14 and to above seasonal temperatures as we head into the work week. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
A data center project in Alberta that is backed by European firms has the potential to be worth as much as 12.8 billion Canadian over the next several years, says the head of one of the companies involved. Data District, a division of Swiss-based manager Alkrel AG, has partnered with Technologies New Energy PLC on a proposal for multiple data centers in Alberta. The $1.25 billion first phase, announced in December, begins with a site in Olds, about an hour's drive north of Calgary. But the longer-term blueprint envisions a much larger investment, with the group eventually building 1 gigawatt of data center capacity, says Carlos Caldas, Data District's chief executive officer. The main union at a Capstone copper-operated mine in northern Chile began a strike on Friday as members push for a bigger share of the windfall from record-high metal prices. There was no agreement. Union number 2 boss Eduardo Claveria confirmed in text messages, "Right now, we're preparing to abandon the mine site." It's the first work stoppage at a sizable mine in Chile since prices of copper surged to record highs amid stockpiling in the U.S. ahead of possible tariffs and a series of operational disruptions around the world. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
A policy change in our healthcare system means Manitobans won't have to wait as long to self-refer for a breast cancer screening. Now those 45 and older can access this testing without a doctor's referral. It's a move being applauded by advocates across the province. With us now to talk more about this, we have Jennifer Borg-Fjord, who is co-founder of Breast Screening Advocates Manitoba. Jennifer, welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
You've been advocating this for a few years now. So what did it feel like off the top to get this news that this change was finally coming?
Well, it was a huge relief and a wave of gratitude, actually, is what we all felt.
Well, like so many who advocate for these kinds of changes, you have a personal connection to this. Can you tell us a bit about that?
I do have a personal connection. I wasn't diagnosed in my 40s, but I was diagnosed a lot earlier than white women are usually diagnosed at the age of 53. And I found my lump exactly 1 month after I received normal screening mammogram results. So that was a bit of a wake-up call for me, that I thought, wait a minute, what just happened here? And that's sort of what led me down the path to advocacy.
And this is because dense tissue can sometimes make mammograms not as clear, not as accurate?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's because your tumor tissue turns up white, and so does dense breast tissue.
Interesting.
So it masks it.
And early detection, a huge key here, obviously. So this change, allowing more Manitobans to get screened earlier, what are you hoping for that? How do you think this is going to help Manitobans?
Well, I think it's going to help Manitobans in a lot of ways. It's going to start the breast screening conversations a lot earlier. It's going to, with a bit of change, it's going to benefit our healthcare system, because when you find cancer earlier, the outcomes are much better for the patients.
So as mentioned, they're bringing down the age from 50 to 45. Province is even hoping to get as low as 40. What other changes? Do you think this is a step in the right direction? More need to be done? What are your thoughts on what else should be coming?
Absolutely, it's a step in the right direction, and I hope that it's the momentum needed to make all sorts of other changes needed with breast cancer screening in our province, and it'll bring us in line with many other provinces in Canada.
So for women out there watching who think, I'm not even like in that age range, or I'm approaching it, maybe I'm going to consider self-referral, why should they? And also, what other steps should they be taking to just keeping a tab on this? Because as you mentioned, early detection is key.
Early detection is key. So knowing your risk is very important. So you could complete the Tyrer-Cuzick or the IBIS risk assessment calculators. Your viewers may know the Olivia Munn story.
Yeah, we were talking about it at the break, yeah.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yeah.
Yes, you and I were.
Yeah.
Yes, so knowing your risk is really important, and completing self-checks, however you choose to do that, is very important, and just hopefully saving
more
quality of life and lives down the road.
You mentioned one of the problems to diagnosis with you or barriers was dense breast tissue. For those in that category, what should they be being mindful of? And also with our healthcare system, what should be in place to try and keep those women safe as well?
Well, there's a lot more advocacy and a lot more work to be done, but if you go and get your mammogram at 45 when you're eligible, so that's if you have not a high risk factor, and if you don't have a history of breast cancer, you can go get that screening mammogram at 45, and you can learn what your density is, and that can help you have conversations with your doctors. You can visit densebreastscanada.ca, and you can find scripts for talking to your doctor there about your dense breast tissue, and then just knowing what your risk is.
That's incredibly helpful, because I think sometimes in those healthcare settings we can get a little overwhelmed, so advocating for ourselves are so important.
Well, it is, and you get a 10-minute doctor's appointment, and there's so much to cover.
It goes by fast.
And family doctors have to know so much,
They
so
do.
it is, yeah, it's important that you are your own advocate.
Well, Jennifer, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for hearing our stories.
Absolutely.
Chilly one up here on the roof, minus 24, feeling closer to minus 36, and that wind chill is awful right now. With the wind coming out of the west, risk of frostbite, so if you are heading out this morning, bundle up. If you're heading out this afternoon, still bundle up. It's going to get up to around minus 15, feeling closer to minus 21 by mid-afternoon, and as the clouds roll in as well. So chilly start to 2026. Now, overnight we could see some snow, couple centimeters at least, but tomorrow minus 14. The wind chill is still going to be a factor tomorrow, minus 27 with the wind chill, and then we get back to seasonal average at above seasonal average temperatures starting on Sunday. But for today, it's cold. It is at least it's kind of bright out and kind of beautiful start to the day, but cold for the next few hours. Our Skywatch pick of the day comes up from Ericsdale. This one's from Dan. Thanks for sending that, and keep those coming to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca, and we'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Centre. We've got a few prizes to give away. One grand prize winner will walk away with a $1,000 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. There's also 3 prizes of $500 gift cards with tickets to be won. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword home. Good luck. Global research led by the University of Calgary warns of the fallout from the rise of injuries in female athletes. They say it's not because of how female athletes play, but rather it's due to inequality. Jacqueline Wilson has the details.
For sports to the pros, female participation in sports is soaring, but there's still so much disparity compared to men, from lack of research around how women's bodies are more prone to certain injuries, to using equipment made for men, and it's leading to injuries.
Historically, the provisions for sport for female women and girls is inequitable, and there was really a real gap in the knowledge around female and women and girl specific strategies for prevention of injury. And so it was really important for us to bring together experts across the world.
Summarizing global data, the team developed a consensus statement with 56 recommendations to break down barriers for female athletes, decrease injuries, and dropout rates.
So one of the things that a lot of our young girl athletes are struggling with is that they don't have access to the same resource or facilities or the expert coaching that we might see in other places. And so they haven't had the developmental opportunities.
Former competitive skier McKenna Lebsack thinks coaching expertise would have made a difference in her career before and after sustaining a major back injury.
Coaches, I think you need to educate from the ground up, because I do believe,
a lot of injuries come from being pushed.
Lebsack was at the conference of the International Olympic Committee when the findings were presented. The report was also published in the British Journal of Medicine.
I think this consensus statement, it's not the finish line. This is actually kind of the start, and we need to really work at getting this information out to athletes, to coaches, to parents, and to those end users that it'll benefit the most.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Now to an incredible rescue on a snowy mountain road in California. An Air Force Staff Sergeant and other Good Samaritans rushing to save a couple after their vehicle spun off the road, barely clinging to the edge of a steep embankment. ABC's Sophie Flay has the story.
A heart-stopping Christmas Day rescue caught on camera. Good Samaritans forming a human chain to rescue the trapped passengers. Watch this SUV spin out and land on its side on historic Highway 50 in California. The SUV teetering hundreds of feet above the ground.
The only thing I had in mind is, to rescue those passengers.
That's Air Force Staff Sergeant RJ Talla racing to help. Watch again as Talla, with the help of other bystanders, form a chain, pulling the passengers and their dogs to safety. Talla traveling to Lake Tahoe on the notoriously hazardous road with his wife Yvette and his baby. He says his military training kicked in. Talla holding on to the driver's side door before other Good Samaritans rushed in to help, the car being held up by a fallen tree.
When I assess the situation I need to get the car stabilized first before we extracting the passengers for safety.
Together, they were able to pull the driver and his wife out of the car. That couple grateful to Staff Sergeant Talla, hailing him a hero. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Minus 24 outside in Winnipeg right now, feeling closer to minus 35 with the wind chill. Clear skies, though, with the wind out of the west at 22 clicks. Pressure dropping, humidity sitting at 76%. That one's the big factor this morning. You can see the camera shaking there. It's a cold one out there. Taking a look at the Skywatch satellite, pretty uneventful morning here in Manitoba. Periods of light snow up north, but down here in the south, fairly clear. Now, as we move through it's Friday, minus 15 high this afternoon. Still going to feel more like minus 21. The wind dying off down to 10 kilometers out of the west. Mostly cloudy, though we should see some clear periods throughout the afternoon. Now tonight, the temperature sticking around minus 15. The wind very light and variable, and a bit of light snow, 2 to 4 centimeters expected overnight here in Winnipeg and throughout much of southern Manitoba. Tomorrow, high of minus 14, going to feel closer to minus 25, 26 with the wind chill, the wind picking up a little bit out of the northwest, and a mix of sun and cloud in the sky. And taking a look at our long-range forecast, minus 9 on Sunday, more snow expected. And then to start the first full work week of 2026, minus 8 on Monday under cloudy skies, above seasonal temperatures for the rest of the week.
Thanks, Daniel. One Manitoban is among the 80 new Order of Canada appointments announced Wednesday. Richard Chartier, a former Chief Justice of Manitoba, was appointed for his leadership in improving access to justice and language rights in Manitoba. The Governor-General noted his landmark report on French language services has had a lasting impact. Chartier served as Chief Justice in the province from 2013 to 2022. Members also named to the order include 7-time Olympic medalist Andre DeGrasse and country superstar Terry Clark. Clark is the first Canadian female inducted into the Grand Ole Opry. U.S. President Donald Trump is defending himself amid growing concerns and questions over his health. The White House has attributed the bruising on Trump's hands to handshakes and aspirin. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president says he takes more aspirin each day than is recommended because he's, quote, a little superstitious. He also said he's not interested in regular exercise because, quote, it's boring. The Winnipeg Jets were hoping the new year might bring a much-needed turnaround, as the team has struggled through the last 2 months of 2025. They were on the road last night visiting the Leafs in Toronto. Things were looking up for Winnipeg. The Jets opening the scoring with just under 6 minutes left in the first period. Gabriel Velarde takes a pass from Mark Scheifele and fires this one past Toronto backup Denis Hildeby. And it's 1-0 Winnipeg on the second with about 14:30 left in the period. And Scheifele makes no mistake with this one, the first of his 2 goals, putting Winnipeg up 4-1. Then the Jets start to collapse, allowing 3 unanswered Toronto goals. This one with 13:30 left in the third as Mateus Michelli scored to tie it up at 4 apiece. And then just over 2 minutes later, Scheifele gets his second of the night to put the Jets back on top. However, that was not enough, sadly, as the Leafs send 2 more past netminder Eric Comrie, edging the Jets 6-5. Winnipeg next sees action, tomorrow night in Ottawa. Game time is 6 p.m. An iconic winter landmark opened at the Forks for another year.
The best thing about the Nestor Arroyo River Trail is the fact that it's a completely new way to look at the city. You know, we kind of, or myself personally, shy away from winter, and this is a way to get out and embrace it, and you get to see a city from a whole new angle.
Yesterday, Nestawaya River Trail at the Forks opened for skaters. About 50 people showed up to skate away the day of 2026, first day of 2026. Wow. Only a section of the annual River Trail opened. The Forks says this is to make sure everything is safe. More sections are expected to open on the Red and Assiniboine rivers as nature allows. You can check which section is open by checking their website, theforks.com. The Forks said the entire trail usually spans 6 kilometers. Removing interprovincial trade barriers was a key priority for Prime Minister Mark Carney's government in 2025. And yesterday, legislation that aims to do just that came into effect. CTV's Jeremy Charon reports.
It's a promise the Prime Minister made often in 2025.
So we're building one Canadian economy.
A pledge to remove barriers to interprovincial trade announced last year that came into effect. Bill C-5, the Free Trade and Labour Mobility in Canada Act, now means provincial requirements for goods and services and workers' licenses will be recognized federally too.
I think symbolically, it's a really good way to start off the year. Actual impact, I think it's really more the provinces than the feds that we're looking for action from.
A separate mutual recognition agreement signed by all provinces and the feds is set to be implemented by June. It will further impact interprovincial trade, but still experts say some key goods are excluded and still face challenges.
Alcohol, right? Beer, wine, spirits is one example, right, that we hear a lot about. And so there are still ongoing conversations at the provincial level to make it easier to move those goods across borders.
While 2025 saw governments across the board push to trade more within the country, several bilateral agreements were signed between provinces. Experts say 2026 needs to be about follow-through.
There needs to be tangible action on the ground this year, and it needs to come quickly because the Kuzma threat is hanging over all of us.
On the international front, the stakes couldn't be higher. Canada's free trade agreement with the U.S. and Mexico is up for review this year, only putting more pressure on bolstering the domestic economy.
I think it's fundamental to our ability to respond to the threat from the United States, from the tariffs, which probably aren't going to go away soon, even though we have the possibility of a review of the Kuzma.
Formal talks are set to get underway in the coming weeks ahead of a July deadline, when a decision will have to be made on whether to extend the deal as is, negotiate a new one, or either country could decide to walk away.
Taking a look at the current traffic situation around Donald Street. Looks like a smooth drive, decent traffic volumes this hour. But if you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400. Taking a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.21. Provincial average is significantly lower at $1.11. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.09 per liter. Lowest price in the city, $1.04. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Ainsley is on location at a gym this morning, chatting with her guests about making healthier choices in the new year. So we asked you for a question of the day. What are your health and fitness goals for 2026? Here's what we heard. Marlene likes to do deep breathing exercises, walking, and prayer. And Anne says her fitness resolution for 2026 is to work on her plank. She'd like to hold a 1-2 minute plank by the end of the year. I'm only up to a minute, so Godspeed, Anne. All right, thanks all for your responses. And we're just chatting about CTV's Ainsley McPhail over at the community gym. You're having a great morning getting us inspired to hit those goals in 2026.
Catherine, I thought it accidentally cut to me early, and I was like, oh no, am I going to lose my footing? So I'm trying to play it cool here in the spin room at community gym, but we'll see how long I can last in this short segment. Amy Sires, the owner, she joins us. Okay, so this class in particular, Spin, for those who haven't been to a class like this, very community oriented, how does it all work?
So it's a 45-minute class, and if you can believe it or not, the lights go completely dark, and so you're in a dark room, and we vibe out to some really loud music, and you just go hard for 45 minutes. It's all music-driven. We go to the beat of the music. You might have some dips, some pumps, some different things that you're going to do, choreography on the bike, but it's really fun, and you're riding next to somebody beside you that might be at a different level, but everyone's going as hard as they can, so. Yeah.
And you mentioned fun in the earlier segment as well, making it easier to keep those goals sustainable. What is so fun about a lot of the classes here?
So what makes these classes so special is that kind of time goes so quickly. Like you don't, you know when you're holding plank and it feels like a really long time, like eternity?
Yeah, when they were saying, we were talking about a plank earlier. I'm like, a minute, how do you even know? It feels like 40 minutes.
Yeah, so these classes go by so fast, you don't even realize it. And you're also just brought through a ton of emotion. Like you can really connect a little bit more internally than just focused on like anything else. Like you forget about your to-do list, you forget about your day-to-day, you're just focused and being present in the moment, truly finding flow. So that's kind of what happens in these classes, is you're in a bit of a flow state. So it's really awesome, and people get to do that every day.
And you get to see it. That's the best part too. You get the rewarding feeling of course, coming in, kicking butt, and then seeing people's progress over time.
Yeah, totally. So we've had people that have come in and have completely changed their lives. I have a note here from one of our clients, and it said, when I first looked into the community, I was going through a very difficult time in my life. You were my first class. I can't thank you enough for what that class did for me. So like people, like truly, fitness can change your life more than just physically. It can change mentally and can give you the confidence to really pull you through a hard time.
And you guys are on Main Street.
Yeah, totally. We're right in the heart of downtown on the corner of Main and Bannatyne. It truly, shameless plug to all of our members. Thank you so much for coming out and being members here. I truly appreciate it. I know how hard it is to work out. I know how hard it is to get downtown. And I know how hard it is to live in Winnipeg in the middle of winter. So the fact that people are here at 6 a.m. is not lost on me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, just thank you to everyone who comes here.
And we appreciate you for coming out so early. Cut the camera so I can stop doing this.
I was going to say, shameless shout out to you, Ainsley. You kept cycling all through that, so good for you. Thanks for everything this morning. Okay, up on the rooftop, Daniel, it is frosty to say the least, so maybe you want to be running in place or doing some cycling there to just keep that body temperature up.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for the hit to start. I'm moving my legs. I've been trying to keep moving a little bit this morning because it is cold out now. Clear skies, that's a nice little change from earlier, but this temperature, it's remained stagnant at about -24 all morning long, feeling closer to -36. And the wind, it's coming right out of the west here, right at this side of my face. It is quite unpleasant. Luckily, this is my last rooftop hit of the morning, and then I'll be inside sipping coffee. And you should do the same, because it's going to be pretty cold today. It's going to get up to -15, but the temperature's still feeling more like -21 with the wind chill. Chance of some snow overnight, and -14 tomorrow, feeling closer to -27. So if you're still on vacation, enjoy the last few days. It's going to be great Sunday, though, -9 with a little bit of snow. So getting above seasonal temperatures to kick off the year. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Researchers in Montreal are combining science and gaming in pursuit of a medical breakthrough. They're using new technology to try to address severe respiratory issues. CTV's Rachel Lau has more.
For people to view. You might think this is someone gaming, but it's far from that. She's a researcher in a lab working on a revolutionary way to help people with severe respiratory issues. Are these anything interesting here? Are these injection points? Using a VR headset and a handful of 3D printers, MUHC researcher Dr. Darcy Wagner and her team are on a mission to make lung transplants a thing of the past.
And then the syringe sits here.
They're 3D printing patches which fit over a patient's damaged lung tissue. The first step, creating specific inks that are compatible with lung tissue.
We really try to bring tissue specificity to what we are generating with that, and we hope that that's going to lead to better outcomes in terms of what we can generate, that it's closer to what lung or airway tissue is like in the body.
The research is in its infancy, but has already shown promise.
So we actually saw that when we transplanted that we had these cues that vessels from the eventual recipient, that they could actually grow into the grafts that we transplanted.
Wagner, who's also a mechanical engineer, says she was in Munich when the idea for the project came to her.
That we actually made a pretzel. I know it sounds pretty cheesy, but this was sort of like the aha moment that I really believed it was possible when we first found materials and a process that we could actually make something that looked like a complex object that otherwise would be very difficult to generate.
Worldwide, about 7,000 lung transplants are done each year. There's only one hospital in Quebec that can do the surgery. It's a complicated, precise procedure. And according to stats by Transplant Quebec, 14 people are currently on the wait list in this province alone.
Yeah, you ready? Okay.
Wagner, an American who was working in Sweden, was recruited by the MUHC as part of its push to propel innovation.
Recruiting people like Darcy to come and work at the MUHC is really, really important to ensure that our community has access to the latest and greatest and excellence in healthcare.
The research is far from human trial, but if eventually approved, could one day save many lives. Rachel Lau, CTV News.
2025 was a turbulent year for the royal family, featuring everything from health news to family divisions and a controversy over a baseball cap. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin takes a look back.
In a year of royal diplomacy, a state visit to Canada was fit for the history books.
As we witnessed Canadians coming together in a renewed sense of national pride, unity and hope.
King Charles III delivered this pointed royal message in a speech from the throne.
As the anthem reminds us, the true north is indeed strong and free.
In other words, hands off the Commonwealth.
I am Canadian, and we have a king who is going to support us in a time of great need, so I'm here to support him as well.
Part of the king's handling of U.S. President Donald Trump, seemingly eyeing the realm with talk of annexing Canada.
Yep. Good stuff.
This in a year the royal family hoped would be bright after a punishing 2024, when both the king and the Princess of Wales, Catherine, revealed cancer diagnoses. The princess kicked off 2025 announcing she was in remission.
Stay strong, okay?
She paid an emotional visit to the hospital where she was treated, meeting patients and thanking staff.
It was wonderful to see her coming in through the front door and with an official visit, and huge credit to her because it can't have been easy.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for being here today.
The princess also delivered her first public speech in nearly 2 years, speaking of a topic close to her heart, early childhood.
The love we feel in our earliest years fundamentally shapes who we become and how we thrive as adults.
She urged for more of a focus on time and tenderness rather than just profits and success. But divisions loomed over the House of Windsor. In October, the king stripped his brother of his final royal titles. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is no longer a prince, just a commoner now, after more revelations of his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein.
He was pushed when he should have actually put his hand up and said, yes, you know, I have done wrong.
Definitely a good thing that the royal family are taking accountability and acting on what's happened.
But behind the doors at Clarence House, there seemed to be some rapprochement when the king met with his son Harry for tea. This was a private meeting said to be the first father-son moment in nearly a year and a half.
How old are you now? I'm almost 102.
Prince Harry also landed in Canada, visiting at least 3 times this year. though he faced rebukes this fall for wearing an LA Dodgers hat during a World Series game against the Toronto Blue Jays.
I would like to apologise to Canada for wearing it. Secondly, I was under duress. There wasn't much choice. I was invited to the LA Dodgers box, or the dugout, by the owner himself, so I was doing what I thought was the polite thing to do. But I'm going to wear this from now on to make sure I don't make any more of those mistakes.
And it's on to 2026 for the royal family, and perhaps more moments like this. Prince Louis mocking his brother, the heir apparent to the British throne. Prince George was not amused.
One final look at weather this morning. Minus 24 out right now, feeling more like minus 35. Fairly clear skies, though, with that wind coming out of the west at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure dropping and humidity sitting at 76%. It's been minus 24 since we got on the air at 6 o'clock. So hopefully over the next few hours it starts moving up. Not much to show you on the satellite this morning, just a stray snowflake or two up north, but fairly clear in the south. As we take a look over the next few days, high minus 15 today. Some sunny breaks, but mainly cloudy later this afternoon. Much the same tomorrow, minus 14, but then we're getting above seasonal averages, which is around minus 13 for this time of year on Sunday, minus 9, minus 8 on Monday under cloudy skies, and throughout the rest of the week, much of the same, minus 7 on Wednesday and minus 9 on Thursday. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Let's put a bow on this show, shall we? So many parents are no stranger to this. A kid asking for one thing persistently.
What? Remember I said after my dinner last year I wanted popcorn?
Yeah, you like popcorn.
Why do you not tell me I wanted popcorn yesterday?
Oh, this little guy tells his mom over and over again about all the times he'd asked for popcorn, including after his dinner last year and yesternight. Yep, he is doing a good job of keeping track. Who knows? Maybe if he keeps asking, she'll change her mind someday. That's how I get when someone denies me popcorn.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do when sleep eludes you on a flight? Well, this baby might give you an idea. Oh my gosh, so cute.
No.
This baby was in a plain bassinet, decided it was a good time for peekaboo instead of napping on a 9-hour flight, and they're so good with doing the same thing on repeat. This is the best case scenario when there's a baby on a 9-hour flight.
Yeah, no crying.
This is amazing. It's better than in-flight entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, do you like face paintings and Wicked? Check this out.
Glinda. Alphabet.
Oh.
Glinda. I'm a witch, and I'm a witch. But which is which? Well, here's the sitch.
This woman painted Alphabet and Glinda on both sides of her face and added a voiceover. It's a very creative split-face transformation for lip-sync videos.
There's so many TikToks where it's just so creative.
Incredibles work. Okay, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you next week.